was agreed in October 2017 that 23 billion naira will be released to all federal institutions in the country. But it is amazing and it is very, very unfortunate to now see federal government now allocated 98% of the money to academic staff alone, leaving 2% to all the 3 non-teaching staff, SANU, NASU, and NAT, to be shared. Federal government intentionally creating crisis within the university system. And as I'm speaking to you now, I want to say it categorically that all federal institutions are boiling now. All federal institutions have been shut down because of this agitation.
Wow. All right. You know, I was just trying to make calculations and make sense of, you know, trying to... Anyway, the non-academic staff unions of Nigeria universities have been on strike since December the 3rd.
Absolutely. Now, the workers rejected the mode of sharing the recent financial allocation to universities and had written a letter to the Federal Ministry of Education explaining the criteria for the allocation. Now, the unions went on strike after the federal government failed to respond to their 7 days notice last year.
Yeah. Now, we have the coordinator, Education Rights Campaign, Hassan Taiwo, joining us right now. Hassan, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks
it's nice
for
to
joining
see
us.
you.
Yeah.
Well, this strike that is ongoing right now, a lot of analysts have come to say that, well, the federal government was insensitive in the disbursement of that fund because they should have known how to really share the money. And some even said, well, it was cost by the federal government. What is your take on this generally?
There is a lot of misconception outside there about this matter.
Yeah, make us understand.
And I must first say that what is happening in the universities today is a reflection of the failure of capitalist government in Nigeria. The Buhari government has shown itself to be sensitive to the interests of students, the interests of academic staff, and non-academic staff in the university system. In fact, that government has continued the same program of education underfunding. And that is the root of the crisis we are seeing today. First and foremost, the 23 billion that we are talking about is an amount that is grossly inadequate when you look at the demands of the 4 unions in the federal universities.
Signed by the government.
The amount was released as part payment. Each unions had their specific demands and requests before the government. Don't forget, this thing started from 2009. Backlog of earned allowance. For non-academic staff, it's called earned allowance. For the academic staff, it's called earned academic allowance. And each unions negotiated the sum that is due to their members. Governments, in responding, released an amount that is grossly inadequate. And in that situation, many other unions feel that in the sharing of that inadequate sum, a sharing formula that will ensure that there is, fair sharing of the amount.
At least bring relative stability.
But the reality is that some of these things cannot work because it's about collective bargaining. If a union goes to the government and says, we want backlog of our allowances to be paid, this is the amount for the past 7 years. If government signs an agreement with you, it is an agreement signed between you and the government. It is bilateral. It's a different thing if agreement was signed with the 4 unions together.
Okay, are you saying that
that is where the question that there is some fear, there's no fairness in the sharing can come up. But in any case, and this is where the government responsibility for this crisis must be emphasized. The government has failed to provide this explanation. The government is giving the impression that it is the unions that are at loggerheads over how to share this amount. But what is actually happening is that people gave you requests as to what is required to pay off the debt you are owing academic and non-academic staff. You released an inadequate amount. and you then threw the entire university system into crisis.
Okay, Hassan, let me just come in here. Yes, you made the point. The government, and you said it earlier, said this amount is just part payment to be shared among the 4 unions, of which ASU got 18 billion naira out of, and left 4 billion naira for the remaining 3 unions. So now, there's this bickering among the 4 unions. Are you saying government is to be blamed? Yes, it's given. They were not well represented, talking about the non-academic staff unions at the negotiation table as ASU was. But then would you blame the government really for releasing that amount, already indicating that it was part payment, and then ASU taking a large sum of an amount that was supposed to be shared among, because all of them have needs, they have demands.
That's exactly the point I'm making. Everybody was represented at different negotiation tables with the government, not joint negotiation. 2009 agreement, the famous 2009 agreement, is an agreement between federal government and NASU, between federal government and SANU, between federal government and NASU, between federal government and NAT. And the federal government, since 2009, has failed, you know, to meet in full any of these agreements. So that the government,
putting in mind this administration got into power just 2 years ago.
Yes.
3 roughly.
But in any case, if somebody has been in power for 2 years, on the basis of the collapse, the near collapse of the government sector, we should have started seeing signs that you want to do something. And the first place to start is to meet up with the past agreement you have had with unions, which has been the cause of consistent disruptions of the academic calendar. The government has failed even to pay the sum of money, the intervention funds, that is supposed to be going into the federal universities on an annual basis. This government has not paid any out of it. Now, you have those agreements. The government cannot say that it does not know the specific amount that the academic staff are demanding for, and the various unions that are organizing the non-academic staff.
Unions are calling for,
but you then release 23 billion naira, which is so that where the focus should be. And I must appeal to the unions, because there's a way we can begin to chase the superficial and leave the fundamental. The fundamental root of this crisis is that the government released an amount that is grossly inadequate to meet the request of each of the 4 unions for payment of backlog of earned allowances that government has been owing their members. And the government cannot say that it does not have this money. This government just a few weeks ago released 280 million for the purpose of procuring vehicles for past head of state. I need Nigerians to tell me which past head of state in Nigeria does not have more than 5, 6, 10 vehicles in their compound. Government is responsible for the healthcare needs of their children. Government is responsible for their security, and to pay workers who are contributing to society what you are owing them is a reason for further controversies and crisis in our system. That is what we should be focusing on. So that my appeal is that we must resist, and this is to the unions, any attempt by the government to sow division among the unions, because the only way the public education system can be defended against the neoliberal onslaught of this capitalist government is for the 4 unions and the Nigerian students to unite together. But that's the only way you can force this government to do what it has to do.
All right.
And that is not in place now. They are at loggerheads.
And that is why we must continue to appeal to them. We expect that the 4 unions, and I say the 3 unions rather, have a right to demand for the payment of their members' salary allowance.
Okay.
And I will call on ASU to also give these 3 unions all the solidarity that is required, because this salary allowance is the right of the non-academic staff, and it must be paid. Students must also give solidarity to these workers, because what is happening is that government is showing that it has no responsibility at all to anyone, including to those who work, and it is completely disheartening. It is something that is happening with workers in about 20 states across the federation who have been owed 6 months, 5 months salaries. Pensioners have been owed in this country, but government decides to continue to enrich a 20 states across the federation who are being owed 6 months, 5 months salaries. Pensioners are being owed in this country. But government decides to continue to enrich a few people at the expense of the mass majority.
All right, let me take it from the last point you made right now. The unity within, in fact, it is until a few years ago we started hearing the differences in all of these unions. But when these unions go on strike, they used to go on strike, it was a total strike. Yes. And now that monies are released, some analysts have said that it is a divide and rule tactic to break the formidability of these unions. And the ASU members and the NASU members are intellectuals, which certainly they should have known these better. Now, when ASU takes its own money and decides to go back to work and then leave SANU and NASU and NAT, like you call them, you know, to handle their own issue, as the case may be, from that window, would you say the divide and rule tactic, if that is what is in play, is working?
Yes, if the unions do not immediately understand the agenda of government and try to resist it, it would work. Which is why...
Is it not working already? That's even what I'm saying.
Well, in a way...
Because ASU is back, in fact,
in a
ASU
way,
is back to
but
work.
The reality is that, and we must understand the workings of unions also.
Okay.
Unions are responsible first and foremost to their own members. When unions decide on strike, these strikes are decided by the organs of their own union. So that it doesn't matter if 4 unions were on strike together, and then one decides to suspend its own strike because it feels that its specific demands have been met. It has responsibility to its members first and foremost. But there's something called solidarity in the labor movement, which is that regardless of the fact that you are on strike or you are no more on strike, you must recognize that a sister union has to be defended, has to be supported, especially when it is in struggle for the livelihood and the right of its members. Because if the strike of a sister union is defeated, very soon, your own strike will be visited with in the same manner. Which is why what ASU should do, as one of the biggest and most formidable union in the university system, should do, is to offer solidarity to these 3 other unions. Whether through press statement, through media activities, through every other means possible, to show that we will not allow government to break the ranks of education workers in the university system. Because it's the same thing they also do in the health sector. And I'm sure that a lot of us were aware of it. This government only survives on the basis of subterfuge. Only the unity of the working class can defeat it. Because ultimately what we are seeing is a government that has failed in all ramifications. Education is dead. Healthcare is dead. Transportation, everything is in comatose. There is fuel scarcity. It is the failure of capitalism. We need a socialist alternative. But we cannot continue to do the same thing, the same manner for over 60 years and expect a different result. That is one definition of malady. We need to try a new paradigm. We need to try a new alternative. We can run this government, this society better. Nigeria is immensely, enormously blessed. We have no reason to be poor. We have no reason to be uneducated. We have no reason to have 10.5 million children roaming the street without education. That is what is at the root of the insecurity in this country. Nigeria's resources can be collectively, harnessed to provide succor for everybody in this country. But with capitalism and associated corruption, it cannot happen. We need a system that allows for the collective ownership of our economy and its democratic control to be able to ensure that resources are harnessed to provide education at all levels. That is what we need at the present time.
And talking about all of this, apart from the end allowances that ASU and all other unions demanded for, there were other issues raised about funding research works and all that, which are not even in place. I recall that a formidable commission one time, earlier last year, was saying that Nigerian students are being trained for jobs that are no longer effective or even needed anymore. Even available. Really. And then it brings to mind really that should it even be about, in essence, about the money alone that you are going to benefit from? What about the big picture of putting public education well in place for the common people? Because these students are at home doing nothing. And like we all know, an idle mind is a devil's workshop.
It is all part of the big picture. I mean, if you look at this where we are today, workers are the backbone of this establishment. If workers are not paid, nothing will work. None of these machineries will work. It's the same thing with the university system. The workers are the most vital stakeholder in the sector. When you provide the classrooms, when you provide the good libraries, when you provide the good laboratories, but you don't have the skilled teachers who are well remunerated and motivated, then you are going to have nothing. Look at what is happening in Kaduna with the 20,000 teachers. It's a signal of the fact that if we want to begin to resolve the problem of education, we cannot just say we want to resolve that the question of providing classrooms and infrastructures alone. The question of the teachers, the question of the non-academic staff becomes very important, and it's all part of the big picture, so that when workers in the universities are fighting for better remunerations, what they are also saying is that we need a salary and allowances that can ensure that the best, of our people are retained in this country, instead of having doctors, professors running out of this country because they can earn better pay elsewhere and leaving the education sector in comatose. And it's all part of the processes for ensuring that government releases more funds to fund education. But what I would just say is that at the moment, because the point you have struck is very clear, the issues that the unions were fighting for before now wasn't just about the end allowance. But the end allowance appears to have become the major thing now. I will appeal to them that as much as the end allowance is very important, they must also constantly put forward the need for government to provide more funds. Because at the moment, 2018 budget, about 7% has been allocated. That is too inadequate to begin to resolve the crisis we face in the sector today. If the union do not start to speak up now, if the Nigerian do not start to speak up now, we are going to have another 1 year of nothing really happening in the union sector. And the damage will continue to be on our society, continue to have graduates who are not skilled enough to be able to handle a productive economy in the 21st century. You are going to have a situation whereby many people will even lose faith in the education sector. Look at the number of people outside in our street today having nothing to do, so that ultimately the unions must take up the challenge of fighting both for their members' rights and, of course, the need to fund public education appropriately. All right,
the Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos is appealing to government to try to negotiate with SANU, with NASU and
SANU and NATU.
NASU, SANU and NAT and the unions. And if you go to University of Ibadan, they're writing exams. You go to Ife, they're writing exams. So the point there is, even within the ranks, it seems there's some kind of discordant tunes where some local chapters are going on with their normal activity, as the case would be. What impact would that have in the collective?
Of course, that would weaken the strike if that situation is allowed to continue. Although, what is also happening is that different university management are trying to meet with their respective non-academic staff unions, local chapters, to have some agreement as to how to, resolve this crisis, at least temporarily. And these workers also are parents. They are also sensitive to the needs of the student. There are some universities that were about to write examinations when these things started. So all of these things are there. But I trust the unions that even where you have 1 or 2 local chapters suspending their strike in order to allow examinations to be written, that they will not allow this ultimately to affect the ability to continue this strike where it is possible. The government is forced to do the needful. And those who are writing examinations, once examinations are concluded, there's nothing stopping the local chapters of these unions resuming the suspended strike. So sometimes you have some of these situations occurring. But ultimately, what will be required, and this is an appeal to the unions again, is that they should not just make this strike a sit-at-home action. For instance, University of Lagos on January 8th organized a rally which further put the issue on the front burner. We need the unions to organize mass protest to bring out their member, because Nigerians need to know what is happening. You can imagine some parents would see their children back home again. They saw them back home maybe 3 times last year, so that this January they are back home. Many of them will not understand what is happening. And in a condition of no light, no fuel, few people are able to see, some parents will see their children back home again. They saw them back home maybe 3 times last year. So that this January they are back home. Many of them will not understand what is happening. And in a condition of no light, no fuel, few people are able to watch television or whatever. So that it's only when you go out on mass protest with your leaflet, trying to explain your issues, that you can be able to build public support. And I think those are some of the methods they need to, use to ensure that even where you have some local chapters suspending their strike in order to allow for examinations to be conducted, that the strike is still sustained, with the vigor that can ensure that government is forced to comply with the demands.
Hassan Taiwo, Coordinator, Education Rights Campaign, thank you very much for your analysis on